What's an oddly specific fear of yours? Walking on manhole covers or grates. In my mind I will step on them, they will give way, and I will fall into the middle of the earth. I step over, or around them every time. My husband thinks it's funny to step directly on them, and pretend to fall. When I walk by those office paper cutters I get nervous that I might suddenly decide to put my hand in there and cut off a couple digits. It's like the call of the void, but for office supplies. I'm seriously afraid of being pulled under beds by disembodied hands, specifically mannequin or model hands made of plaster or wood and covered in gloves. I don't know what would happen if they did pull me under a bed, but it's a highly irrational and stupid fear I've had since childhood and the source of recurring nightmares. I also fear dolls and clowns. I don't fear the dolls themselves, it's the dolls staring at me that gets me. Getting into a car accident with someone who is driving with me for the first time. I would look and feel like such a dick, especially if it was someone I was trying to take on a date. Walking barefoot onto a used syringe needle. Recurring dream for some reason. I go running regularly. I hate running next to chain link fences, specifically because I'm convinced that I'm going to trip, then fall in specific way so that my front teeth manage to get caught on the fence and be ripped out. I also hate the lower ones, since part of my brain is convinced that one will not be bent right. I will run next to it and the wire will hook into my arm. Whenever I got my curtains open at night I always think someone is gonna look at me through the window, no matter on what floor I lay. I hate walking up staircases where the backslash space between the stairs is open. It feels like I'm going to slip through. Not a huge fan of stairs in general tbh. Moved to New England from Texas a few years ago. As a child I always got strep throat. Every year. Brother didn't get it every year, but I did. I hate strep. Then I grew up and am now a teacher. I still get it, not every year, but still more than my colleagues. I can tell I have it 2 days before it shows up positive on the swab test. It's a very familiar and awful feeling. So, strep can manifest and, if not treated, can eventually kill you. I'm very afraid that I will be snowed in during a huge storm and will have strep, not be able to go to a doctor, and will die from strep. My arch nemesis. Walking barefoot on grass. Stepped on a bee while I was really little. Wasn't fun and I imagine all of the blades of grass are stingers until the prickling feeling goes away when I lift up my foot. Oddly enough, no fear whatsoever if I'm wearing just socks on my feet. I really don't like if I can't see where something is going. Chains that hold boys scare me, for example. Getting stuck in a chimney face up in a sort of a V-shape where you can't really move and die a slow painful death while thinking of your loved ones and crying for help. I won't let someone hand me something hidden in their palm by making a fist and then dropping it into my hand, if that makes sense. I'm not sure what I'm afraid it might be. Tripping while going upstairs and breaking a tooth on one of the steps. That I'll die in the shower and my family will find me naked. That when I'm walking through natural water, lake, river, etc., I'll accidentally stick my big toe into the eye socket of a human skull. Looking up. Not a fear of heights, but a fear of just like that thought of just going and going and going, and the suspense of just going down but it never happening. Falling or being pushed onto the subway tracks. I've taken the subway in my city since I was a little kid, and I won't go closer than 5 feet from the edge until the train pulls in. For a while I had changed trains at one of the busiest stations to get to work. One day I ended up at the front of a crush of people less than a foot from the edge after the previous train pulled away, and had to stand there for several minutes until the next one came. I felt like I was going to throw up the entire time. I'm afraid of crucifixion. No idea why. It is incredibly unlikely anyone I know or myself will ever be crucified. In fact, no one does crucifixion these days. However, sometimes I have dreams of it happening and wake up in cold sweats. It's very strange. A bird impaling itself by its beak into my leg. Almost happened while I was working outside a number of years ago, and I never knew I was terrified of it until that moment. Stuck with ever since. Being trapped inside a sinking ship. I have a phobia that I'm going to go ice skating one day, slip on the ice, my hand will lay out, and someone will skate over my hand and slice my fingers off. That my mind will slowly be taken over by mental illness and there is nothing I can do about it. The saliva/backwash that accumulates at the top of a soda can letting someone drink from a dairy-based beverage of mine. My dad burped into my milk 10 years ago, and when I unknowingly went to take a drink from it right afterwards, the smell was horrific. I haven't touched a glass of milk since. Moths and butterflies. Why do they fly around like they don't have a clue where the hell they are going? And why are they so powdery? I'm terrified of them. Birds, except chickens, but they are not birds, they are little dinosaurs. Lotus pods being photoshopped into things. Like I remember a picture of a breast with a nipple being replaced with a lotus pod and I just can't handle it. I don't get it, but the grouping of holes just creeps me the F***K out. Elderly twins. Being alone in a big house at night, especially big rooms. I prefer to sleep in the tiniest room possible with all the lights on. I have no problem walking outside in the dark. Rolling over while I'm asleep and getting testicular torsion. I always sleep with tight boxer briefs now. If you're a male and don't know what testicular torsion is, I advise you to keep it that way. Revolving doors. I can't handle them. What if I get stuck in there? They're all different sizes. How many people can fit at once? Do I jump in? Will that look weird? If it's not rotating for me, is it motion triggered? Do I push? Will I push too hard and break it? What if I push it too hard and it hurts someone else on the other side? F***it. I'll go a few feet to the left and take the regular door. I haven't gone through a revolving door in years. Make sure to like and subscribe for more daily content. Thanks for watching.